with the social emotional issues and how education is an integration. Okay, I'm Lis Cercadillo, and I'm currently advisor in education in the Ministry of Education in Spain. But my first identity is teacher. I think I'm a history teacher. I was teaching history for 15 years before my career as a researcher and as an advisor now in the ministry. So my first interest is history education, because we need to know
Absolutely
where we come from, to know where are we going in the future. So history is not only to do with the past or the present, but with the future as well, and it's the main the main way for our orientation in life. So now I'm involved, apart from my main task, that is the management of PISA and other international studies in education assessment. I'm also involved in the curriculum development, once again, in Spain, in our national curriculum. The Ministry of Education has the task of centralized, in a way, the main skeleton of the curriculum. So we are working now in this trend towards a convergence in all education systems in Europe through the development of key competencies, and all those competencies are considered cross-curricular in a way. Science should be cross-curricular, history as well, and of course creativity or critical thinking or all kind of attitudes that we need to reach a genuine learning, to be an integral person. And I'm very pleased to be here with you this morning.
Thank you very much. And really speaking, history, as you said, that is not only the past, but it is the present and future also. Because in a way, past is our foundation. And it is on that foundation what we are at present that exists, and what is going to be future also. Now, unfortunately, sometimes we see that as what to say,
a tendency or
exactly. And regarding, for example, there is history, we teach only the political history, the kings and then their sons and their
big men,
the ministers and presidents and these things. But history is at each level. There is a history of music, history of art, history of the thinkers, etc.
This triad that all competence have: knowledge, skills, and attitudes. But beyond that is the ability to take action cooperatively towards global solutions and fight for the common good. If we don't have in mind this next stage of taking action, if we are just a passive citizen or a passive human being in the world, our life is not fulfilled.
Let's say that students now get awareness that they are a global citizen. What are the expectations for how they would act and think in the world? That is the first question. And then, is there a next step beyond global citizenship, such as a universal citizenship?
We are now talking about a different kind of citizenship, of course. Yeah,
exactly.
And that's very, very hard to get. We need a lot of traveling, not with our minds, but with our bodies as well.
Absolutely.
So to keep this balance is really difficult. Well, I referred to Asia Society and a very interesting project that was a background for the framework in the OECD project in global competence. Global competence was defined, and it was the capacity to understand and act on issues of global significance. Again, this balance between the knowledge and understanding and the action. What we are doing in the OECD and the European Union is try to look for common benchmarks to compare what the situation is among our students with these issues of global significance. Because they understand education as life skills, not only form of knowledge. So we had a lot of obstacles, some of them issues of validity and reliability, because we are asking very sensitive issues that are not so well defined, and they are not easy to measure at a comparative level. The Eastern countries were telling us, well, we don't have this mind as you have in the Western countries, so how can you compare things like perspectivism and self-efficacy and so on? We developed this conceptual framework, knowledge and understanding, about cognitive skills such as analytical thinking, critical thinking, empathy, flexibility, and also the attitudes. These are the most, particular concepts of global issues, that are the openness towards different cultures, the respect for the otherness, this wonderful concept of otherness. So it's not only knowledge and understanding, but also skills and attitudes. We consider values as a dimension, very important dimension of global competence, but we couldn't measure values. Then wonderful quotation by one of our students: the test was long but easy. In fact, I don't know what this is for, because the questions were not to get a mark. They were rather about ethics and why we are in the world. So I think we got some of our aims.
Very interesting. I'm extremely happy that you could speak about all these things. And I believe this question of global understanding, dual citizenship, I believe consciousness needs to develop among people. So, according to me, education is the basic concept for the evolution of man. I generally always used to put that the nature by itself progresses, and that is called the force of evolution. Now, this evolution could be accelerated in a conscious manner at human beings level by the participation of our mind, our body, our heart, and everything. But that, if it is done with a proper education, the process of evolution could be accelerated. Have you thought that how this humanity could evolve into this sort of humanness and then go to the universal side of the humanity?
Yeah, from the perspective of the education system, we need to be very much aware that we cannot limit ourselves. We cannot stop on the subject level or on the cognitive level, of course, but also the social emotional issues, and how education is an integration of all these different competencies, but not only attitudes. But the thing is, to be conscious has to lead us to take action. And I've had this experience all the time with my students of different ages that remember me and remind me of the things I used to teach them about, how to be careful with fire when you go to the countryside, and things, very, very small things like that. and I was teaching them geography, but that was what they remember from me, that they were really aware of the danger of fire, for instance. And that's great.
Very, very interesting, all what you are saying. And I believe this will help us to go beyond our small limitations. What is the aim of mankind? What is the aim of a human being?
Yeah, I cannot be more. I cannot agree more with you. The thing is how to achieve that.
Yes.
Because we are, as you say, our limits are very influential in that, and our own self-egotism, our self-centered,
Yes.
our self-interest. We need a lot of generosity, a lot of
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely need to be a little less selfish, need
Yeah.
to be a little more open-minded. That enlarges our own consciousness. I wish that this World Congress, World Conference on Global Education, our ideas will get together and our workings will get together and our aspirations will get together. And similarly, from beyond, as the sunlight comes, a sort of a grace may come to us, and we can evolve in light and go towards an enlightenment.
We are very fortunate that we can dedicate our lives to education. I'm very proud of that.